lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name's Ryan.
And I'm Manny.
And today we're going to be talking about another one of our favorite books that came out this week, Nightwing 105. This is the POV issue. This is one that we both have been excited to talk about. This is one that we couldn't just talk and not have the camera overhead. Like, to really get the feel for this book and why we're spotlighting it, you have to see it. I mean, just the fact that, like, you can see it from the cover. It's from the entire issue is like this. It's from his point of view. And there's a double page splash that will show that when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, this is fucking dope. Like, this is why.
Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I'm just going to get straight into it, dude.
Yeah.
First
it's
of
like
all,
an FPS, people. If you play video games, this is like an FPS comic book.
So just, off top, Tom Taylor, Bruno Redondo, Adriano Lucas on colors. I love this opening 3-panel of him waking up next to Barbara.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love that. She's like, she's like, you're very pretty, but you should brush your teeth. And like, I love, first of all, Tom Taylor just writes such a great Dick Grayson, Barbara Gordon dynamic.
I was gonna say it's so cute to watch them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it just makes me smile. He really captures like how playful they are with each other. And like, these are two people whose lives are steeped with tragedy, but like they bring out like this goodness in each other, like this ability to be fun, you know?
Yeah.
You get why they may go their separate ways every now and then and be with other people, but they're each other's like true love, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And then we got, Haley, aka Bitewing, jumping into the mix. And she's like, yeah, breath only a dog could love. And like, I love this too, because like, you think it's going to be from his point of view. You're probably not going to see him much. That was my assumption. My assumption was I thought we wouldn't see him at all. But obviously, like, you can do this if you're showing him in a reflection. And
how often do we look in a mirror as a human being? Like, every day. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, so it makes sense,
Yeah.
And he's getting up, gets a call from his sister, and I love this, like, they're FaceTiming, and she's yelling, and she's like, a biological weapon was stolen. So, like, now we get into, like, what the story is going to be. So, yes, we start off with, just regular life, just him waking up, but then he's, going for the costume. I love this, watching his costume just on the wall. And Batgirl's getting dressed. They're about to jump out of the window. One last.
I love the shelf here on the one panel. He's got like a fucking Robin Funko Pop on his shelf.
Oh yeah, I
didn't
bookend, best to Robin from Superman. Yeah, I didn't even notice the Funko. I passed that over. That's.
I also love the word balloons for Nightwing for Dick, like how it's like an inverted, like the tail of the word balloon that usually leads to the person is inverted. Like.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's clever because it's not inner monologue, it's dialogue, and like, very cool, man. Very, like, design wise, this is off page one. It's hitting
I have
everything.
To think that this is going to be nominated
for like that single issue. Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, I don't see how this is not going to be, but then we get this. This is where it was for me. This is such an amazing fucking double page spread.
And then look at the bottom right corner, the fucking reflection.
Oh, dude, it is so good. Like, this is one of my favorite double page spreads that I've seen in a very long time. And it's not like there's anything super crazy going on, but to see this angle, like, this reminded me kind of like when you're watching the newer Spider-Man movies and Peter's swinging through the city and you'll have his POV. Yeah. But this is like, it's so different because like he doesn't have powers. So like he's literally just swinging through buildings. I can't tell you how, like, I started smiling when I was.
It just shows you how much they really put into this idea of the POV comic, because like they're really thinking about, like, all right, so like, how would it look? What would you see? You would see your reflection in the mirror like that, like you would, how it's slightly off angle, like, it's not just perfect. Like they must have spent a lot of time coming up with like perspective on this.
What's funny. This isn't very story driven at all. Like, to me, this book is like Bruno. Like, it's his art that really sells this book, because the story's good. It's a good story. The dialogue's good, but like, you're really more captivated with the art more than you're paying attention to what's actually going on in the story. At least for me. Like, I was reading.
I would agree. And I think Tom Taylor is a brilliant writer, and I think making it simpler is by design to allow, I think, the concept that they're trying to do with this, well, not they're trying to do, the concept that they achieved with this issue, let that be what brings in the reader, because it's a done in one story, and it's just your classic superhero story. Oh, villains have stolen a biological weapon, and they're, we got to stop them. I mean, that's a story that's been done a million times, and I don't think that's laziness on Tom Taylor's part.
Oh
That's just
no,
like,
no.
yeah, that's like, let's make a very simple story so that we can really focus on the way the story is told, which is the thing here.
Yeah, and then like Nightwing is always someone that's like, and it's been done for years, where like he'll get through the city not just by swinging on jumping on rooftops. Like he'll always ride the train, and he has to go on the train anyway. But just explaining it, and like you're able to show this cool thing of them jumping on, and he's like behind, they're running across, and she's like, she says, "What percentage of your brain is just bloodhaven?"
Because he knows all the
train
trains. Yeah, it's great. He's like, oh, we can take this, the
Yeah.
1224 B train. They'll be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Because he does. That's how he gets around. He even says it. It's faster than running on rooftops. I love this too. Like these three panels, like she's jumping, but like she's not used to doing this. So she falls off. He goes over the edge and he grabs her and pulls her back up. And
I love how she says, "Nice catch, boy wonder." Like.
And then like them running through the fucking train. I love these panels. Like this, like they're going, and then you just keep getting closer and closer to the one of the twins that they're going after. You notice there's nobody on the train, so she's not holding anybody hostage. And this is I love this. She's like, I miss this, Nightwing, me running, you chasing, grabbing, and Batgirl's like, chasing and grabbing, huh?
Yeah, like the smile on her face. Because I mean, much like Daredevil, Dick is known for having hooked up with one or two of his villains in the past. Like in the DC universe, Dick gets some play, man. He gets around.
He does get around.
Yeah.
But so look, and then you find out that she's got a vaccine in her for some like virus that has been spread, and that's the whole thing. The pharmaceutical company is going after her because they want to sell this vaccine for a shit ton of money instead of helping to save people. So this is the whole, like, this is basically the entire story right here is what they're doing, and they're talking to her. She's telling them what the lowdown is, and they're like, well, what if we send somebody else in your place, And I love this. She's like, or he's like, but where could we get another athletic redhead at short notice?
I love how she says an awkward, discreet change later. Yeah. How do I look? That question feels a lot like a trap, Batgirl.
Yeah.
Because even now they're still flirting, and like they have that like screwball romantic comedy back and forth.
Right. And then I love this too, like to show the perspective of this fucking missile coming at them. And then you flip and you get all these panels.
It's chaos.
Yeah. And you just see all these different angles of what's going on, because fucking train's blowing up. He's going all over the place. It's not like he's like in one position, right?
Right. I just think it's like, none of us are ever going to probably be in an explosion like this, hopefully, because like the chances of survival are probably none. But like you would imagine that if you are, in the vicinity of one, like your senses are going to be disoriented. It's loud, like your head's going to be swinging around rapidly. So this double page spread really captures like the chaos and the cacophony that comes with something like this. It's all over the place. It's great, man. It's great.
This is fantastic. So then him getting up, you know what I mean? Like the aftermath, they take Barbara, right? Which was kind of, they knew like they're going to send her in to infiltrate. And then I love this too. He's like running up the stairs, going on the rooftop. Look at this though. This again, we're about to get another amazing image.
This was my favorite. I know. Okay. I mean, I agree that the other one was great, but this one, I was actually sitting by the pool yesterday reading this, and like when I turned it, I had to like pull it back, and I just kind of stared at it in the sunshine. I was like, wow, dude. And like the facial expressions, like, and then like
this is
people shooting.
I like this one the same, but there's something about the other one, the simplicity of it, of them just
and the majesty of that one. I get what you're saying. Like that first one, it's like it really, I mean, the point of this issue is to give you like a 1% inkling of what it would be like to be Nightwing, and like obviously that image that you talked about at the beginning is amazing for that, because it's like you said, he's fucking a human being just swinging from a building. Like, can you imagine how frightening and amazing that is, you know, like
Yeah.
how
But
awe-inspiring.
this is great though. He's about to kick his way through the building. And I love this. This guy's like, "Are you fucking kidding?" I mean, he doesn't say fucking, but
Yeah.
that's the word I always put when they they
Yeah,
bleep it out.
yeah.
So he's like, "You fucking kidding me?" He's like, so, "Excuse me, sorry. I'll make sure the window gets fixed. Hold the elevator." And then this is so good too. Them in the elevator, and he's standing in front of the door, just facing them.
And I love how this girl is obviously like checking him out and like kind of like into him, you know, because like there's a running joke that Dick Grayson is like one of the hottest guys in the DC universe, so people are always like look how sheepish he is around him, you know, like I'm a
Yeah.
big fan, you know, like
He's like, "Hey, thanks." Yeah.
yeah,
And then this dude, I'm telling you, there's just so many cool things that they play around with in terms of the point of view. Like you have him swinging out of his apartment, you have him kicking through a window, you have him running through a train. Now he's
riding
on
a
a
motorcycle.
motorcycle, and I love she calls him out. She's like, "Are you just gonna steal a motorbike?" And he's like, "I'm
Borrow.
borrowing it. I'll bring it back when I'm done."
I like the
And
rear view mirror, and
yeah,
you notice the heads up display on his mask,
yeah,
like the map, you know.
yeah, that's pretty dope too. Yeah. But yeah, I love how like she's like, "Why are you helping me?" And he's like, "Well, this time you're on the side of it." She's like, "Well, they did pay me well." So it's like
Yeah,
she's doing something good, but she's also not. She's still a villain at the end of the day. And then he comes to save Batgirl, but she's already free. I love too how they call him Mr. Wing. That that
yes,
that becomes really funny in a few pages. But like they're telling, "Oh, we just want to talk to you," blah blah blah. So like, just come down the corridor on your left, and she's like, she tells him you don't have to, but he's like, "I wouldn't mind a word, to be honest," right? And then he tells her where to find in the alley, and this is where, because we've talked about Nightwing on the channel, we talked about the first volume. There's a villain called Heartless. This is Heartless. This is also, that's spoiling. Sorry if you haven't been picking it up. That's also the bully that he fights when he's a kid in the very
yeah.
first issue of Tom Taylor's run. So I think it's interesting too how it's all becoming full circle, and it's creating this like arch enemy that Dick Grayson has never really had. He's never
No,
really had an arch enemy. I guess
I mean
Blockbuster is one of his main villains, but like
Tony
this,
Zuko maybe, you know, who killed his parents, but like
yeah,
and like I mentioned that I love that Heartless is his villain because you know Nightwing is often correctly so described as the heart of the DCU.
correct.
So like his villain was heartless, you know, like Tom Taylor just kicks ass, man.
Yeah. So, we got some back and forth. Nothing really like crazy is happening. He's just like kind of like telling him what they're doing for the pharmaceutical. "Oh yeah, like we did hire them, but they're no longer associated with us," because Dick calls him. I was like, "Well, these people you hired shot a missile off at a train." He's like,
He's like, you blew up a train. He's like, no, we hired some
yeah,
independent
just
contractors.
calls him a little overzealous, like.
Yeah,
So I love this too. You have Nightwing in the reflection of the glass right here. He hands him a cup of water, and I thought this was a kind of a cool little shot of him drinking the water.
yeah. I love
Uh,
that he actually drinks it. Like
I
he's
thought,
probably
yeah,
fucking thirsty.
I know, and I thought it was kind of random. I'm like, why would you just take this from this dude? But he doesn't know that it's Heartless, so only we know that it's a villain. And he calls him. This is what I love too. He's like, Mr. Wing. He's like, "It's one word." "Excuse me, Nightwing is one word, so it's not Mr. Wing. It would be like me calling you Mr. Hole."
Yeah,
And that's
I love.
asshole. And like that's
I know, dude. Because
so
like
good.
Heartless is human. I mean, Heartless is like you know his true identity is like he's like this tech farm bro. You know, like
Yeah,
awful person in and out of the supervillain costume.
I love it, dude. And then as we wrap up, Double Dare is gone and stole the motorbike, and she's like, "Yeah," she said, "You stole it." She said she's gonna give it back like you would have. And then I love this too, like the angle of him shooting up his grappling hook, and then this, "Want me to keep the costume for chasing and grabbing?" And he just doesn't respond.
Yeah, she's like, that's not a no. I
Yeah,
do think you look very good in this, Mr. Wing.
I thought that was
So
pretty funny too. But yeah, I know this is kind of a short video for all of you guys that are watching this, but really, like, this is what I wanted to show off. I really just wanted to show off some of these pages because I think it is such a great book. Bruno Redondo is one of the best artist in comics right now. He has been producing some of the best stuff on this Nightwing
I
title.
would agree, man.
I hope that Taylor and Redondo stay on this book for a long time to come. Yes, we have some, we'll have a fill-in artist here and there, but overall, this run has been one of my favorite books since it started. It's always been at the top of my list, and
it's. I mean, it already is a definitive run on the character, and I think it's gonna be like an evergreen, like perennial, like book too. That's
yeah,
gonna be,
we're almost
always
30 issues in too. I mean, if
Yeah.
you count the annual, I think we're like 2 issues away from it being 30 issues so far. So you don't see that much in comics nowadays. You don't see like a creative team. I mean, I guess, we haven't had like the same art, but we don't see these long runs in comics often. So when they happen, it's like I really appreciate it as a reader and a fan. But if you haven't been picking up Nightwing, go pick up the first. I know the first trade is now out in softcover. They have the hardcover out for the first 3 volumes. You won't be disappointed. I think probably this issue or even the next issue might be a great jumping on point as well. But go pick it up. You won't be disappointed.
And even if you don't regularly read Nightwing, I urge you to pick up this issue because, like, I've never seen a comic book drawn like this. I mean, maybe there has been, but I've been reading comics for like almost over 30 years, and I've never seen a comic take this kind of perspective. And not only that, like, it works. It could have easily not worked and been like, it's just a gimmick, but it's still like a fun story, like, and the simplicity of the story actually adds to it. I think if it was overly complicated, you'd get distracted and not pay attention to the real storytelling here is being done. It's like the best writers know when to take a step back and let the artists do what they do best. And Tom Taylor obviously came up with this concept and said, you know what? Bruno would fucking kill it on this. I'm going to give him a bare bones, simple, classic little story, a chase scene, and let him go buck wild.
Yeah, no, it's this comic has just been fun every time I pick it up.
And it's going to be like one of my, like, how we did our top 10. I think this year, like, we could also even do like, maybe not necessarily top 10 single issues, but maybe single issues that stood out or something. This has got to be one of the best single issues of the year.
Totally agree. Yeah, I mean, dude, there's so much to talk about, and we're only halfway through the year. So I can't wait to talk our best of 2023. But this is already best of 2023. So go pick it up and make sure you follow us on social media. Links down below. Hit the subscribe button so you're notified every time a new vid goes up. And on that note, we're out.
We'll see you next time, guys.